Well, hello there, I'm Détroit. I'm in a good mood, because it's big sketchbook time. Instead of doodling on a tiny A5 notebook, we're drawing in the big one. A4 really is the king of paper formats. I used the same sketchbook a while back to draw a strange portrait of an alien inspired by the manga Blame or Blam. And now I'm taking inspiration from my own drawing and drawing a portrait of a wooden monster doll. Imagine a puppet made of wood, like Pinocchio, except instead of being based on a human boy, it's based on an eldritch entity with the wrong amount of eyes, mouth, proportions, and so on. I especially wanted a contrast between the aspect of a horrifying monster and the proper and prim aspect of a tiny costume with a tie and the clean look of a ventriloquist doll. The head is comically big, with the small body sitting on a branch. I have no explanation for the branch, by the way, and no explanation for the rest of the character now that I think about it. I just thought it would look neat. This is what the sketching phase is for. This is where I decide on how many eyes I'll draw, where they'll be, and so on. By the way, this SCP-like creature has so many more eyes than you can imagine, but they're hidden most of the time. It's designed so that at any given point there are at least 5 eyes staring right at you. You know, sometimes when I make videos I don't include the preliminary sketch, mostly because it's hard to film, especially when I use light strokes of pencil. They just don't show up on camera. But today I decided to include some of it, just as a reminder that I almost always sketch the non-abstract things I draw. It's so easy to only show the flashy or sexy parts of a process by editing out the mistakes or the boring stuff. But I find that it tends to kinda ruin your expectations, as a viewer. Like, sketching is a crucial part of any drawing process, and only a handful of freaks do draw perfectly without needing to sketch. Most of the quote-unquote incredible artists you'll see are charlatans hiding their true process. To draw good, it's normal to sketch, so don't forget it. It's also during the sketch that you figure out stuff like proportions, anatomy, figure, and so on. Which brings me to the composition, for which I reused the background idea from the alien portrait I talked about previously, except reversed, by having a white diamond instead of a black ellipse. Now, it would be boring to have me color in the whole A4 background with ink right at the end of the video, so I'll fill in the background digitally later, so don't be surprised at the end. Because of the composition and everything, I think this is a drawing prompt that is well adapted to this big sketchbook, much more than the tiny ones I usually use. I feel like it's also a better format for my cameras. Let's face it, my 2 Logitech webcams I usually use to film are kinda bad. They are made for filming people in Zoom calls, not a piece of paper with complex ink patterns. Like, I can't really zoom with the cameras, and even if I zoom in post-prod in DaVinci, the quality isn't good enough to make it not blurry. Trust me, I've tried. I tried to put the camera closer to the page, but then there is no setting to adjust focus this close. And I can't autofocus, because whenever the camera autofocuses, which is whenever my hand moves basically, the video becomes blurry for a second or so. That, by itself, isn't too bad, but when I speed up the footage by 1000%, it becomes so obnoxious and makes you sick in the stomach a bit. The thing is, I fully know there is a problem with my filming setup, but there is nothing I can do to remedy it without spending hundreds of euros into a new camera. So either you give me money at ko-fi.com/Détroit, or I have to find another solution. And I might have just found what I needed. This video is a test run, so let me know in the comments how my third camera feels, if you think the quality is good enough, or maybe even better than the other 2. Because yes, you heard me right, a third camera. The one that's neither the top-down view nor the front-side view, so let's call it the diagonal one. It's my old phone, a Huawei P10, that hasn't worked in 4 years. A couple of weeks ago I bought a few pieces online so I could try to repair it, and it worked. It's a bit wonky, the screen still malfunctions and stuff, but it's okay since I have no use for it as a phone. Instead, I can use its camera to film my drawings. Let's go a bit further into my reasoning. To be completely honest, my webcam problem is easily solvable by using either my phone, my regular phone that I use daily, and /or my digital camera that I have used for a couple years to make videos. These have better quality than the Logitech webcams. But the problem with this solution is that I have to transfer up to hours of footage to my computer before I can edit a video. I also have to regularly charge batteries in order to use them. I also need to synchronize the footage across the different cameras. What's nice about the webcams is that they are run entirely from my computer via USB and they record through OBS at the same time without a hitch. No sync, no data to transfer, and no power supply to figure out. And so using my old phone is a good idea, but only if I can run it through OBS. And ladies and gentlemen, and all the people in between, I did just that today. I used a program called Irion Camera, not sponsored, which connects an app on my phone and an app on my PC through Wi-Fi. My old phone then serves as a webcam and I can record it from OBS. So now I have 3 cameras, which are definitely overkill for my kind of videos. Let's face it, changing cams is just a fancy gimmick. It doesn't bring much to the content itself. I'll be happy with using just 2, one for the large top-down shot with the entire artwork, and one that is more of a close-up, and just for the sake of variety, so I don't have to show the same shot for the entire length of the video. 3 cameras through OBS is also simply too much, just in terms of graphic cards capability. When I press record with these 3 bad boys, every program other than OBS visibly stops refreshing. Basically, if I try to watch a movie or a show at the same time I draw, no matter if it's through VLC, YouTube, Netflix or something, the sound will keep running but the image stops. This is the reason, if you pay attention to the top left corner of my phone cam, the diagonal one, you'll see the very corner of my iPad currently playing a couple episodes of Scrubs while I draw. Because I couldn't watch the show on my computer. And so, just because I like to get comfy and watch something while I doodle, I have to remove one cam from my setup. If everything works and I get confirmation with this video that the phone works alright, I'll probably use it as my main top-down cam. But anyway, I've been going on and I've talked way too much about camera setups. Do you enjoy my new nail polish? That's a fun thing to talk about, that is not about cameras. I bought a black nail polish because my dark blue one was running low and I wanted something of better quality. I just didn't realize it had tiny glitter in it, but it's alright, you can't even see it in real life, even less so in video. You know, I like using nail polish. It feels fancy and makes my nail biting less obvious. I went with black because honestly I had no idea what to go for. Let's be honest, I know nothing about brands and stuff, and I figured black would be more opaque and would look better even if I applied it badly. Let me know what you think about it, and if I should experiment with more nail colors. So to recap, in the comments you have to tell me if the third camera, the diagonal, works for you, also which kind of camera orientation you prefer, if you think the quality is good and so on, and you'll also have to tell me if I should get more color variety of nail polish, and if so, which color. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if this is your kind of content, and check out some of my other videos if you're still not sure it's your kind of content. I have a playlist called Must Watch with my own personal favorite videos so you can get the gist of it. Find the rest of my work on Instagram, where I go by d3_sd, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye!